In 2006, Butser Rubber decided to move away from their Microsoft Access-based stock and production database, selecting and being trained on 123 Insight in just 4 weeks. They reduced paperwork by 90%, obtained much more accurate lead times, and were able to run several company divisions through the same system. This 10 years on case study catches up with the company after a double-dip recession and details how they not only survived, but also increased turnover and expanded into new markets. Butser Rubber implemented 123 Insight in 2006, about a year before they noticed a slowdown in business that resulted in the economic crash of 2008. Initially, the company's business focused on bespoke, small-run orders for rubber products, gaskets, and metal-to-rubber bonded products. Motivated by the immediate flexibility of 123 Insight, they started to diversify into larger runs of standard products. Now able to serve different markets, they were even winning business back from the Far East. It was this foresight that allowed the company to ride out the crisis, as production manager Charlie Easton explained.
In terms of diversification, we've gone from a bespoke company to a mass production company, which has then introduced the fact that we can then compete with Eastern Europe and China because the machinery and the software we've got supports all sectors, never mind if you want 10 or 100,000.
Previously, the family-run company relied on 4 staff to handle administration for their old system, but this was reduced to 1.
We used to have 4 dedicated administrators who would be processing onto our Microsoft Access system. When we took on 123, at the beginning there was quite a lot of administration to get the old system up and running with the new system, but roughly at the same time we had the slowdown as well, and as we lost staff due to their children moving schools, we never replaced them and actually managed to build processes into 123, which meant that we got it right first time, and we removed a lot of duplication, especially between contract review and dispatch. On the old Access system we would have to manually handwrite the dispatch labels and the notes, whereas with 123 it would just be a drop down option and then you would automatically print the dispatch note and the labels from the system. As a result we went from 4 to just 1, but recently we've just taken on another administrator because we're trying to now aggressively grow sales, and we're using 123 as now a sales tool as well as an administrator tool as well.
Despite the reduction in staff, turnover has increased by 50%. Charlie also appreciated 123 Insight's flexible monthly licensing, going from their initial 13 down to 10 during the downturn.
With the system, we had the ability to actually retract slightly, and we went from 13 licenses and took it down to what we actually needed at the time with staff changes and actually the cash flow of the company, what we could do to save a couple of thousand here, a couple of hundred there, and that worked very nicely as a model. As things started to pick up in 2012 and 2013, we then moved back up to our new licenses as we took on new staff. So we're actually back up to the same number of licenses we had when we first started, so 13 licenses and 13 licenses. But our payroll has massively changed, and we're only using the licenses now as ease of shop floor by giving the guys what they need on the shop floor.
As part of their growth plan, Butser has invested heavily in new machinery, and in an effort to further streamline production, they installed 42-inch displays in the shop floor where 123 Insight is used, and are using shop floor data collection to track works orders at each stage of manufacture.
The whole system on the shop floor was driven by the paper works order or the guys at the end of the process pulling the job through because they could see it was late. When we started to clean down our stock levels and clean down our work in progress, only the works orders which were left on the system showed on the enterprise screen. And this suddenly became a very powerful tool, because if we kept our administration tidy, what was on the screen was what had to get done. And this then became more powerful than the paper. If somebody lost a works order, it didn't matter because we knew that job had to get done, and it wasn't a paper pushing exercise, it was the system was pushing the paper.
Production meetings are also held around the display so that any bottlenecks can be instantly identified and discussed.
We don't actually really need the works orders on the shop floor anymore. The 123 computer system actually generates all the works orders onto this particular grid, and this is a real-time grid taking the information from the shop floor as the guys clock in and clock off their jobs. And you can see we've got the different presses, so I've got my resource of different machines down the side. I've then got all my post-ops and pre-production ops which need to go through as well. And as we look at a specific task, so if I look at my press here, I'm 57 hours late, which means I need to actually arrange some overtime. I've got 118 hours worth of work in the next 15 hours. But as you can see, I've got 37% capacity this week, next week 106, 0, 64, 29. So it gives me the ability to actually spread the jobs over a month period to ensure that everything goes out on time.
Butser replaced their Sage 50 account software with Access Dimensions, and the tight integration between the two has allowed 123 Insight users to immediately see a customer's account status.
With the integration between Access Dimensions and 123, you can see on particular pages such as quotation, dispatch notes, sales entry, how much a particular customer owes you, and if they are over 120 days or over 90 days, the system puts automatic stops on to stop the order getting processed or to trigger a response for somebody to phone them to chase money in. Because we did have a very scary time back in 2008, this has then given us the ability to be much more proactive in chasing money and not allowing accounts to run out of control just because nobody hasn't asked the question.
Previously, the company relied on an Excel spreadsheet to track new inquiries, but they replaced this with 123 Insight's CRM Plus option.
To capture inquiries, say if we go back 3 or 4 years, we just had a running spreadsheet, and we would create a project number, or a P number as we call it internally. So if somebody phoned in or emailed in with an inquiry, we would just take the next number on the spreadsheet, put in their name, number, telephone, etc., and that would then be the internal reference. Once we upgraded 123 to the CRM Plus system, there was a feature on it called Add Edit Project, and within the project fields we would then be able to capture not only a unique reference number, but also give it the customer name, the start date, who was responsible, who was looking for tooling, who was actually doing contract review, who had looked at the legals, the WASH compliance, and you would be able to capture the entire inquiry under one reference within 123 and link it to the customer, whereas the spreadsheet never had any interaction with the system whatsoever.
Once Butser had streamlined accounts, production and inquiry management, 123 Insights started to become a significant part of the sales process.
The system is very useful when actually giving a sales pitch, because you can show customers who are interested in features such as traceability. You can show them an example of another customer's job going through where you can use shop floor data capture to see who exactly logged onto the job, at which stage, how many are still due out, and if you're actually running at a high scrap rate. And when you have a new potential automotive customer, it's very easy on 123 to demonstrate the control you've got over the process. This has meant that once we got our first big customer for several thousand units per day, we were then able to pitch this to another customer very easily because we had the repetition.
Butser relies solely on 123 Insight to comply with their ISO 9001-2008 quality accreditation standard, and for customers requiring traceability to aerospace AS 9100 and automotive TS quality standards. Previously, audits took all day and required a great deal of effort, but now they can be done quickly and from one location.
We had our audit last week, and we do the entire audit from this laptop in this room, because the auditor will ask for the delivery note number of the supplier. I can bring up the actual purchase order that we've put out to the supplier, the delivery note that's come in. We scan it at goods inwards, which will then attach it to the purchase order, so the auditor doesn't need to move from their seat. He can see full traceability at a right click. It will then ask where those parts have gone. We can see who issued them to the works order, who issued them to the works order, and because we've got the skills matrix built into 123, it only allows people who are allowed on 123 to issue those works orders. So from another auditing point of view, have they got the skills and competency? Yes, because they are allowed to do it under their username. So from an auditable point of view, we've got great confidence that we can actually go for our aerospace accreditations without doing anything to our system, because it's doing it automatically for us.
The system is seen by Butser's own customers as so reliable that they will often call Butser to check on something rather than rely on their own internal systems.
I got called after a meeting this morning, and that's because that customer's lost 120 units and they're going to have line stock on Monday morning. They can't find parts anywhere. So they phoned down, how many of these have you got? We saw there are 27 on the system. I can see from shop floor data capture we've got 300 going through. They've gone through this afternoon. We're dispatching today, they have 300 Monday morning. And this is a multi-million pound automotive company who can't find their stock. So they're relying on us to pull them out of that situation.
Support is an important aspect of any mission-critical business tool, and Butser have been extremely pleased with the assistance that they've received.
It's very, very good. We only phone up if we've got a genuine problem. We feel that we can navigate the system well enough to remove all the where's this PDF document, where do I find the part number here? And when we have a problem, it's because something has changed in the background. And in some cases, that's when we need just a little bit more sort of system knowledge as opposed to 1, 2, 3 insight knowledge. But it's if people can't get the answer straight away, we normally get a phone call back within 10 minutes saying I've spoken to Rachel, for example, and we get the answer very quickly. I've known some of the people on the help desk for 10 years plus, and it's very nice actually. Sometimes you don't need to introduce yourself. It's not like phoning BT or anyone like that. When you phone through, you know who's the other side of the table, and because you've got a bit of communication with them, they know how the family is, and you can get started very quickly without having to repeat the problem because they know your story.
The high level of support was brought home to Butser after they had an issue outside of 123 Insight that effectively left them locked out of their server.
We had a big server issue where we needed access to the server, and this was outside of working hours. And I'm very, very grateful to 123 that they actually stay outside of their normal working hours on a Friday as well, which I think makes it twice as important to make sure that we got the information that we needed, so that when we came in on Saturday, our system was actually running how we needed it to run. I can imagine many other companies saying, this is 6 PM, it's late enough, I'm going home now, but 123 actually did stay stay until the job was done. And even though we gave them invitations to say go home, the message was, no, we're staying till you're up and running, and then we're going home. So thank you very much for IT support.
The company has also benefited from suggestions that they put forward to display colour-coded charts on the shop floor data collection screen, which immediately display the current status of each process of a particular works order. Although Butser previously performed their own software updates, they opted for 123 Insight to do the V10 upgrade. Charlie noted that had it not been for the requirement for him to change permissions on each PC on the shop floor during the remote update, it would have been completed in under an hour. In 2009, Butser received the highly commended award in the Manufacturer Awards for their implementation of 123 Insight, which Charlie cites as being beneficial when talking to new prospects. After recently investing in new machinery, Butser Rubber plans to completely redevelop their premises to a state-of-the-art facility and increase market diversity to further harden the business against possible downturns. 123 Insight's subscription model also means that Butser can always take advantage of the latest releases at no extra cost.
Even though we're 10 years down the line with 123, we still are with the latest kit. We haven't been kept on the software that we used 10 years ago. So when we show people our system, it still seems very fresh, very sharp, very up to date, and that's without any more big capital upfront expenses.